And welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Final Yard here on the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Louis Sung, and joining me is Hussam Patel and our good friend Jazz Santana. So we're going to just jump right into it. The Miami Dolphins have lost once again. I believe the score was 45-17. They should have been 50 plus, but, we'll get into that a little bit later. So
Bruce Arians is a coward.
yeah, I mean, at that point, you might as well have gone full jerk on the whole thing. But you know what? That's whatever. It's a different story. So before we get into all that, we're just going to go and say thank you once again to our sponsors, Thrive Fantasy. So if you want to get into the world of fantasy sports and not sure how to start, just go ahead and go to thrivefantasy.com. All you have to do is pick the over or under on how well specific players will do. They'll already have the numbers for you. All you have to do is just choose the over or the under. So the worst that can really happen is that you at least get your money back as long as you don't completely mess up every single pick you make. You just choose 10 out of the available 20 players, and you'll either win big or you'll probably just get the money back. So really nothing to lose. Just go ahead and use the link in the description below, and you'll be able to go ahead and get yourself started. So that's probably the only real plus that I have to give myself today, is that my Thrive Fantasy is looking pretty decent so far. But with that being said, I was trying to say that I wasn't going to go ballistic on this team, but then all my mentions showed up and said, no, they want me to go ballistic. So I'm going to go full angry Stephen A. Smith today. But before I do that, I know that my co-hosts here don't have as much time to offer as I do. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go first. Hussam, Jazz, I don't care who it is that goes first, because on the end, I'm just going to take over the show once you guys are done. So by all means, go for it.
On to the Jaguars. That's it. That's how bad these Miami Dolphins have been, and it's like every single season. I said it in the halftime spacer with my very calm, swayed voice. Every single year, the Miami Dolphins are just consistently bad with expectations. Without expectations, with low expectations, the Miami Dolphins are aggressive. They want to prove to people that they belong in this league. Why can't they do that with expectations? You have your guys, you brought your guys, you drafted star-studded players, but you can't scheme up things for them. You can't play call the right things. You can't put them in the correct personnel and give them chances to win. I mean, what is happening here? Now, look, I know the first two quarters, they looked pretty decent, right? They looked pretty decent, but at halftime, the flip just switched. These were the same old Miami Dolphins of the past. What are they doing in the game planning meetings, the halftime meetings, the coaching meetings that are saying, oh yeah, we should do this, but at least to this results? Like, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and it's not leading to results, why do you keep doing it? Now look, Miami changed up their game plan a little bit, started throwing long bombs. They started throwing to Myles Gaskin, and it worked. They were able to move the chains, but they weren't able to score efficiently and properly. Now, look, I know people want to say, "Oh, it's the Bucs, it's the Super Bowl defending champions," but you had a couple chances to go up on them, but you didn't. You didn't execute. Now, whether it's a receiver thing, a Jacoby Brissett thing, offensive line was a bit decent up until the last quarter, and the defense just putrid, man. They were putrid. Now, Tom Brady has been in this league for as long as I've been alive, basically 22 years. He's been in the NFL for what, 21 years, since I was a baby. He has seen every single thing. Now, you're not going to confuse him, but you can make his life a little bit uncomfortable, and they were trying to do that, but they couldn't, because all he was doing, short passes, quick game, dick and duck, a lot of the things he's done with the New England Patriots before. And look, they matched up really, really well against this Dolphins man coverage defense. I mean, they were putting Antonio Brown with Xavier Howard. Now, Xavier Howard had a little bit of a groin injury, and what they were doing, they were bringing Antonio Brown all the way across the field, and Xavier Howard has to weave in between different type of defenders, and he has to catch up to him. Nobody is going to be able to catch up to fast wide receivers on crossing and meshing routes. It's just a recipe for disaster in man coverage. And Jock's here. Jock can tell you all about it.
Oh no, I heard you making excuses for Xavier Howard getting fried. We ain't making no excuses. Now you out there, you ain't. Even if you're injured, you playing, so we can't make those excuses. But let's just call a spade a spade. Dolphins need Tua back.
They do. I agree with you, Jock. I think they do need Tua back.
I don't think nothing went wrong. Let's be honest. Ain't nobody on this damn panel think we was going to beat the damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers today. And if you did, then you just was, being a fan. But you had no chance. Brady played like shit last week against the Patriots. And I expected him to come back and do what he's been doing for the last 20 years.
And not to mention Jerome Baker, he was targeted. I mean, we all know since the last couple seasons, he's not a coverage type of guy. He's a pass rushing threat, and Miami does not have a pure middle linebacker that can cover running backs and tight ends, which is why the Miami Dolphins brought in Devin McCourty and Javon Holland, and that's why they have Eric Rowe matching up against tight ends and running backs as well. I didn't see none of that today. And you're going up against Bruce Arians, who has Leonard Fournette, Rojo, and Giovanni Bernard. And they're really, really just Giovanni Bernard is a great pass catcher. And Tom Brady, he throws to his running backs and tight ends within the flats and the middle of the field. Why could you not have a Eric Rowe or a Javon Holland roam that middle of the field to make sure that they don't get upfield and convert on those first downs? It's just personnel mismanagement has been a
lot of those throws were coming when the Dolphins dropped off in zone, though. So he's gonna give that up regardless when you vacate in the middle of the field. But like I said, this game was. I thought it'd be more competitive. I think they missed their chance to be competitive. Didn't go for it on 4th and 3. I don't know what the hell Flores has been doing with his blood. Like he's not aggressive enough, and I don't understand it. Last week when they played the Raiders, was Brissett played the Raiders. When you play the Raiders, you go for it. It's 4th and 3 in overtime. You go for the win. Give your team a chance. 4th and 3 today, he didn't. He tried to draw them off sides. I think Brady then went down and converted on that same drive. So it's just, I'm not going to go in panic mode. You've been without your starting quarterback for the last 2.5 games. All I will tell you is Tua gonna save a lot of jobs if he come back slinging that rock like I think he can. So I just think the Miami Dolphins are okay. It's not no big deal. I think everybody expected them to lose. I didn't expect them to go 0-3 in his time out. Oh Lord, have mercy. This guy missed the field goal too.
Did he miss another one? Oh man.
So, I mean, it was Jock, Hussam, Lewis, all of you. Lack of it's missed opportunities, right, on offense. I don't think I want to put it. I'm not going to put it all on the offense at all. They didn't execute on certain plays, and I get it. And Jock, I'm with you. Sam, I'm with you guys. I think that some of these reads and some of these plays where Brissett is missing, guys, Tua might be able to, see the field a little bit better and hit some of these guys, right?
Tua can see the field better. He's blessed with
He's much better at seeing the field.
He's blessed with elite anticipation and elite accuracy.
Right. So then, I really don't want to put this on the offense at all in that aspect. I think, look, Myles Gaskin came in and had a great game. I don't understand where the hell that's been all season long and why they haven't utilized him a little bit more in the passing game as well. But so it all goes down to what Flores does best, right? Which is the defense. And we're still we're mentioning it all. Look, Baker got his what pushed in today. Right?
Defense got their ass kicked today.
Yeah, he got picked on. But listen, we still have to mention certain players that got picked on a little bit more than others. And Jerome Baker was definitely one of them, right? Xavier Howard got toasted on a few plays by Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was in his pocket the whole entire game, right? So, like, the line didn't get enough penetration. I mean, everybody's talking about, everybody's talking about how, Hussam, you mentioned, right? We're supposed to have drafted these elite players in college and these guys that are going to come in and contribute right away and do some great things on defense or all around, right? The Hollands of the world and everybody else. And then Eric Rowe is supposed to be a lot better. He's actually regressed a little bit as well. So we're not seeing the same Eric Rowe we saw last year. So right now, I mean, I don't want to say, hey, Flores needs to get fired. I'm not on that train, right? But I'm just saying he needs to get it together on the defense side.
This is also, Jazz, a little bit of a trickle down from having an inept offense. If you're not going to put points on the board, your defense is going to be there on the field 60, 70 times a game. They're going to get tired regardless. They're always going to get tired. They're going to be gassed. They're going to be giving up big plays. And I just think that once Tua comes in, the offense should look a little bit better. It should be geared toward him. He already has a connection with Jalen Waddle. If Preston Williams is healthy, Preston Williams was a weapon with Tua last season. Albert Wilson has been cast for the ghost lately. I don't know what's going on with Albert Wilson. He's just been gone. I don't know if he's
not gonna say anything the whole pregame.
He's just waiting for us to finish because he says he's gonna dominate. He's gonna dominate the rest of the show after we're done because me and Hussam gotta leave early.
Yeah, I mean Myles Gaskin. I mean he's a great pass catching back. We didn't see a lot of Malcolm Brown today. We didn't rush the ball a lot against the league's best rushing defense. But Myles Gaskin was able to help us in the passing game. You can get Savon Ahmed in there. Mike Gesicki, good things happen when you give Mike Gesicki the ball. They didn't give him the ball again today. Like it's just mind-boggling how you have so many good players, but you're not using them effectively. And I do think that Tua helps out with the play calling, with the reads, and distributing the balls to the playmakers where he needs to be doing it.
I don't know. Look, to me, I think Tua is going to make this team better because I don't know if I'm that convinced in all the quote unquote playmakers that we have on the field. Preston Wilson, I just haven't seen enough of him.
Okay,
I haven't seen.
They got playmakers. It's been bad.
It's been bad. It's been bad. So I mean, I can't sit here with conviction, but I can't sit here with conviction and be like, oh my gosh, we have amazing playmakers because we haven't seen that. But we haven't seen that though.
We haven't seen that because the quarterback is not able to execute it properly.
But which is the issue. I get that, right? But that's been the issue for how long now? I mean, at some point, is it only the quarterback that's not that we don't have that's not executing? So
yeah, if you
but no, I disagree because you never see players.
If we go and watch the All 22, which they'll release, it's gonna be many clips out there. Oh, why didn't he hit this read?
You're gonna see a lot of people open, Jazz. You're gonna see a lot of people open.
The offensive line played well. The one strip sack fumble was on Jacoby Brissett holding the damn ball too long, and then he's not pushing up in the pocket. Albeit though, the pocket.
Austin Jackson is still terrible, by the way.
He actually improved a little bit as a left guard. He looked pretty decent
last week. His playing strength is bad. He can't play guard. Why? Because you're playing against the stronger players in the league. Like imagine him playing against Aaron Donald every snap. He's gonna get his ass whooped.
Yeah, I mean it was Sue, and it was Sue today, and a couple other guys. He's still getting pushed back. He's still getting pushed back too much.
Yeah, his playing strength is bad. That's his ability. He can't anchor as good as the other guys can. But the offensive line played okay. They didn't play bad. They played marginally good. They gave Brissett some pockets. The Dolphins.
And this is with one of the league's best front seven too, Jock.
That's the best front seven in the league, and how they able to dictate flow like that, where they make you one dimensional because nobody can run the ball on them. You have to. So I'm not upset about the game. I knew the Dolphins were going to lose. I thought it'd be a bit more competitive. I did like the response they came out with in the second half. They got a stop, didn't drove right downfield, got a touchdown. So they did some good things. But like I said, they need Tua. Tua's the only person who's going to save all these people's jobs at the end of the season.
So question for you, Jazz and Jock and Lewis, if you want to chime in. Is this game even closer if Tua was in? And, I mean, I would assume they would still lose this game with Tua.
Yeah, but maybe Tua keeps the offense on the field a little bit longer.
Does Tua win the Indianapolis game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does Tua win the Las Vegas game?
Yes.
We'd be 3-2 right now instead of 1-4.
Yeah, like people understand it. Yeah, the offensive line, but think about it in the past two games, the offensive line hasn't been bad. They've been okay. They haven't been the best. They've been okay. But what's been missing? Guys are open, not getting hit because the quarterback's not seeing them. Right? Tua is going to make a major difference. It's the only guy that's going to be able to save this. right? I don't like I said, I don't agree with all this shit about the draft picks and all this. Like, you can go ahead and around the league and do goddamn percentages around the league. It's probably out of 224 draft picks, you might have at least 20, 25 contributors are really, really good players, and you got some marginal players. Like, you can't judge a guy in year 1 or 2. You can see his nuances, but the guys that you guys are saying are bust have flashed. They're not bad. They're average players, but that's amongst the league average. Like, you only have 15 to 20 stars in the league, and you only got 5 or 6 superstars in the league outside of the quarterback position, right? So you have to a lot of this stuff that people are saying is false to me. Like, it's not that the team's not the rebuild has been fine. You just went 10-6 last year. Quarterback has gotten hurt. Now, I will say this on the organizational standpoint, they failed Tua in this sense. Last year, when they went to him, they supposed to went to him forever. It wasn't supposed to be stuck in the midst of, oh, I want to win, or I'm trying to see what this kid got.
Originally, he wasn't even slated to play the season too, John.
They burnt it with that. Like, right? Because now we're losing. Oh, Raiders, we need a spark. Oh, I put Ryan Fitzpatrick in. Like, no, you let the kid struggle through his lumps and bruises to see what the kid got. You cannot be in the midst of both. You either want to win or you want to rebuild, right? And the Dolphins last year should have let Fitzpatrick ride the whole season out. They would have been picking in the top 5 or top 10 with 2 draft picks, and you would have been able to do what to do. But you got to think, all those guys they drafted have shown flashes. It's just that when you're looking, it's just like when you got a girlfriend. You're going to always look at, see hotter girls, man. Like, oh, Justin Herbert's playing so much better than Tua.
No, don't use that analogy anymore.
Yes.
Seriously, that analogy makes me so upset. It really, really does. It does.
It's
like,
the truth.
You finally got me to talk, Jock. Congratulations.
Listen, it's the truth. You be walking down the street with your woman.
No, Jock. No, don't go
and
there again.
better,
Move
right?
past it. Find something else to compare it to.
So it's the same analogy. So everybody, that's what it is right now. Everybody looking at Joe Burrow and to Herbert. But you have to, I'm going to tell you 2 things. Those 2 guys were in better positions to be successful than Tua was last year. You got, yes, true. That's very true. And
It's simple as that.
When you play man coverage all the time, it's going to happen. They were running a lot of cross.
That's exactly what I was saying before you came in, Juck. And look, Miami, they weren't even tackling people properly all game. It really boils down to all the fundamentals. And I don't know what's happening in this organization, in this locker room on defense, but they seriously need to go back to their basics. They need to go back to what they were good at last season. Now, you can't always play man coverage all the time. You have to adjust to the scheme. You have to adjust to who you're playing to. If you try to play man coverage against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, you're going to get beat deep. If you're trying to play zone coverage against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, he's going to take all those dink and dunk shots and try to move the ball downfield on third downs, where Miami is one of the worst in the league in third downs. You're basically just shooting yourself in the foot. The play calling and the execution needs to be a bit better. Now, playing against the Jaguars in London, the Jaguars with Urban Meyer and all that drama going on, it's looking like Miami should be able to win that game. But will it?
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Miami's gonna blow.
They should. They should.
Miami gonna beat the shit out of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You want to bet on that?
I'll bet whatever. That team is bad, and they're gonna beat the shit out of that team.
No.
Well, look.
Yeah,
Tua
on
the schedule next.
All right.
This is who you have on the schedule next.
3 games.
I really need to hear from
the Falcons, the Bills, the Texans. 3 of those games are winnable.
No, they're not.
They're gonna win the next 3 games for sure. The only loss I see in that is the Bills. They're gonna beat the rest of those 3 teams with ease. They're gonna smack those teams.
And you have what? That if we're assuming that, you would be what, 4-4, 500.
Not if the defense. By the way, not if the defense continues to play the way they're playing.
The defense. All right, my turn. It's my turn finally.
I want to hear Lewis.
Oh,
Jesus,
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. You can take apart any points you want after I'm done, Jock, but I'm gonna talk now.
Go ahead.
I have reached a point with this Miami Dolphins team where everybody, and I know that Kai was in the chat last week saying it's ridiculous how we're panicking and we're time to hit the panic button. No, it's not time to hit the panic button. Give me one. It's like I can't find one thing that I can point out of this team that says, oh, we shouldn't hit the panic button yet. The offensive line, even if they do okay as a unit, it's always that one player that ends up completely botching it. And it's not always like just botch it. It's always at the worst possible moment. Always at the worst possible moment that something could go wrong. So it's not even that things go wrong. It's that once it goes wrong, it's at the worst possible moment, and that completely wrecks the whole thing. And that is something that has been consistent with this team for the past God knows how long. It doesn't matter who the coach has been. When it was Joe Philbin, it was the same thing. When it was Adam Gase, it was the same thing. Now we were fooled. It feels like we were fooled with the Brian Flores thing for a couple of years, and now it's having to be the same thing all over again. Everything seems to go wrong at the worst possible moment. Tua Tagovailoa, I am convinced, will have a wonderful career in the NFL, but it's not going to be in Miami. He's going to have to leave Miami, go somewhere else, and then he will be a really good quarterback because he has all that talent. He has all that ability, but it's not going to happen here. And the reason it's not going to happen here is because it's still a rotten fish from the head down. Okay, it really is. Brian Flores, his supposed claim to fame was supposed to be the defense. Now he's had 3 years to build his defense, and it has consistently actually gotten worse as the season has gone, as the years have gone on. It was actually a pretty darn good defense after they had stripped it down to nothing, and then suddenly in year 2, it looks okay. We got this zero defense blitz going. It's a little fun. And now this, by the way, the turnover streak officially came to an end, by the way, today. So that didn't happen. So, oh well, on that one. And then now you have all your guys, and it's worse than it was last year because they figured it out. They figured out exactly how it is that you need to beat them. Like, the only time the Miami Dolphins can bring any sort of pressure is when they have their blitzers coming in, and that means that all you have to do is just dunk it off to some running back or some guy who's on the screen pass over here, and then he runs for 7 yards or more because somebody's going to miss a tackle or somebody's going to get blocked out of their shoes because we've seen it happen more than once. We saw it happen to Nick Needham. Nick Needham, one of the more sure tacklers on the team, he's there, gets absolutely wrecked by a blocker because that's how the play was designed. That's how you beat this defense. They figured it out. And by the way, Xavier Howard, yes, he's a boundary corner, which
Y'all
means
telling me it's the best corner in the league.
He's supposed to be he's the best boundary corner in the league. He is not the best NFL corner. I said he was a top 5 corner because he makes turnovers. But if they figured out that he is a terrible slot cornerback, which is basically what they turned him into today. They basically turned him into a slot cornerback, making him chase all these crosser routes in the middle of the field. He can't do that stuff. He's never been able to do that stuff. And we know this because, by the way, our guys CK and Alfredo Arteaga on the 3 yards per carry, they've been pointing this out for a long time now. This is not news. Everybody knows this. And guess what? So do the other teams. They know this about him. And Byron Jones, he's hobbled, so he's looking bad. And by the way, the only guys who could have been helpful, like at this point, I'd rather see Noah Igbenogany just because I figure, well, at least he's a healthy body and he can run at full speed. But they didn't want to put him in there either. So that's out too. And that is also a detriment to the front office and the coaching staff for their lack of ability to apparently either recognize talent or develop talent. Because if you really feel like your first-round draft pick is so awful, and I was the one who was saying preaching patience with Igbenogany, but that was under the assumption that what we had was going to be better. But right now, it's not working, and so we need to throw something in there. So Igbenogany is inactive on game day. I don't like that he's inactive. I really, really don't. I feel like he should be out there doing stuff, even if it's as a backup, but he should be doing stuff. And I have reached this point with this team that I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if there is a solution. It feels like the only solution, and this is purely just nonsensical, whatever, but it feels like you need to fire the GM. You need to get a new stadium, get off the Indian burial ground somewhere, like get a new quarterback, get a new owner, get a new head coach, get a new, just like when I say wipe the slate clean, I mean like nuclear bomb, get every single individual out of there. Seriously, like every single person. That's how it feels. I know that's not realistic. I know that it's ridiculous, but that's what it feels like right now, because it feels like everything they try just completely falls on its face. There's no actual way of seeing any progress. You see the offense do better today, the defense takes 3 steps back. So it's always one or the other. You can never have both in one game. And so now they're going to go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to go up against Trevor Lawrence, and that's going to be the matchup everybody's going to watch. They're going to watch the Tua Tagovailoa versus Trevor Lawrence. Who's the better quarterback? That's what it's going to be. That's going to be the story. Is that upcoming week is like 2 young, talented quarterbacks going to face off against each other. And I don't know that the Dolphins are going to win that game. I really, really don't. And you know why? Because of the same reason that we've been seeing all this stuff. Is the offensive line going to hold up? Are the wide receivers going to be even semi-healthy? Is the play calling going to be effective enough where they're actually going to make sense? Are they going to continue down the road and basically say that, hey, now we've got something moving forward? Or are they just going to go back to what they wanted to do before, which was not take deep shots downfield, not get their playmakers involved? Because finally we got some Gesicki in the game, and it seemed to work. But then again, they went away from him. They went away from Waddle. They went away from all the guys who can actually do things. And instead, they're just having to desperately dump it off to Gaskin, which, by the way, I'm going to give him credit. He had a really good game. But that's not how the offense should be run. You should not be running your team through Myles Gaskin. Not when you have guys like Mike Gesicki and Jalen Waddle, who are supposedly explosive playmakers. So instead, you're going to do that. And your quarterback can't see them. Why can't he see them? Because he's not a good choice. Well, why did you go and pick him as your backup? Why did you go back to a hobbled Brissett when you had Reed Sinnett sitting there waiting to say, hey, I'm healthy. I had a pretty good preseason game. Remember, I know it was against backups, but what do you got to lose?
I'm going to say this, and it's crazy. We're buying the backups thing. So yesterday, me, Mike, Pouncey, and Johnson and Claire were talking before our Little League game, and they brought up a point that most people don't know. The drop-off between an NFL starter and his backup is massive, right? Like Mike and John say, like when one of the starting players get hurt on their team, they looking at other teams for other options. So that's why you be seeing guys getting plucked from here, there, but that's just what it is. You say, oh, why you picked him to be the backup? That's the drop-off between a starting and backup in the NFL. Like, look at every position when you think about it. You go from Tua to Jacoby Brissett, who can't scan the damn field, right? So that's just the
okay, Jock, that's fine. Tua, but if it's not working, Jacoby, then why don't you go to the other guy? Especially when he's hurt. You know that Brissett is hurt, and you still put him out there anyway. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That just will tell you what Reed is right now. Like, he would have gotten the game and probably been throwing interceptions. It's just like Nathan Peterman. Oh, we should go to this kid. No, hell, you shouldn't go to this kid. He's not ready.
I'm not buying it. I'm really not. Because, again, like I'm trying to find something nice to say. I really, really am. I really am. And by the way, all these people who are in the chat upset with me, good. I'm glad you're upset with me, because you should be upset, because this is how everybody in the fan base feels right now. This is how everybody in the fan base feels about this whole Miami Dolphins franchise, looking desperately for anything that they can hang their hat on.
Ask a question for all the upset fans. When the Dolphins when they're 4-4, what would be you guys' notion then? Oh, they played bad teams?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes. You know what Jacoby Brissett just said? You know what he said? He said, contrary to what you guys think, we are getting better. And as the season goes on, you just continue to build.
That's the most cookie cutter answer you can come up with.
In 3 weeks, if they're 4-4, none of this, like everybody on the panel.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I forget about us on the panel.
If
The
they
fans are going to be
4-4,
ecstatic. The fans are going to be ecstatic.
I'm going to make
They're
this
gonna be like, oh my
declaration
God.
right now. I'm going to make this declaration right now, and I bet some of you guys in the chat are going to be very happy that I'm about to do this. If they are 4-4, 3 weeks from now, I will permanently remove myself from this show. I will permanently take myself off this show if they are 4-4 at the end of 3 weeks from now. I fully expect Miami.
Why would you? Okay, so look, they're gonna beat Jacksonville in London. They're gonna have.
You're so sure of that?
Yes, I'm positive. The Jacksonville Jaguars ain't winning the game this year. They're gonna win that game. They're gonna have 2 weeks to prepare for the Falcons. Correct. Correct.
Do they have a bye? Yeah, if they have a bye.
They're gonna have a bye week. They're gonna beat the Falcons. Falcons are not a good football team. Okay. They're gonna win those 2 games. You're at 3-4. It's all you can hope for at that point. Then you play the Bills.
Listen,
they're not gonna win.
If Dolphins go 4-4, it's the Jazz Jock and Hussam show.
Yeah,
and you guys will be
so much for
terrific.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
I don't even understand why he's saying he wants to say he's gonna leave the show. Why are you leaving for it if they go 4-4? It's just what it is.
That's my bet. That is my bet.
Okay.
By the way, I will say this before I get out of here. Just on one note on the offense is if they continue to use Waddle the way they're using him, he's just not going to last the whole season, right? I mean, he's going to have issues. We're not using him the right way. Am I right, Jock? You looking at me weird? Are we looking at him the right way?
Today they used him correctly. They motioned him. They put him in positions to get the ball in his hands. They did a lot of things. He was the reason why Gaskin scored that first touchdown. They motioned him. They came back with the drag cross, back a bit on the wheel route. He instead of playing the wheel, he played the drag. So Waddle today was used.
Today was a little bit better.
Yes, because every play that motherfucker should be in motion. Like every play should be in motion because you can't guard him, right? So it's free releases and stuff like that. So, like I said, I think the Dolphins are gonna win the next 3 games. If Tua's supposed to play next week, which I think that's the reports. If he plays the next 3 games, they're gonna win the next 3 games.
All I'm saying is, Lewis, don't let me, Jock, and Hussam take this. Oh,
don't worry. You won't have to. You won't have to. That's how confident I am. They're gonna not be 4-4. Really, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. Okay, they're not. They're not.
I'll see you guys.
They getting healthy at the right time. That's all I'm gonna tell
They're
you.
not.
Adios, fellas.
All right. So honestly, I'm not sure what else there is left to say. I've kind of reached an impasse with this football team. I don't see them. I don't see them executing to the point where they win the next 3 games. They should have won in Las Vegas. They should have beaten the Colts, and they didn't.
Listen, but in Las Vegas, they lost that game off coaching. You have to be aggressive with a backup quarterback. You have nothing to lose at that point. They're gonna win. They're gonna beat Jacksonville, and they're gonna beat the Falcons, right?
No, I really don't think so. I'm dead serious. I do not think they beat. Maybe they beat Jacksonville. I don't think they beat Atlanta. I don't think they beat Atlanta.
They'll be 3-4. Then they play the Bills. That's gonna be a whatever game. They might go.
They're not gonna win that.
They might go on the road and beat the Bills at that point. Who knows? And
Jock.
then they got a bye week against the Texans. I think out of the remaining games, 1, 2. I'll tell you how many wins they get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think they win 7 out of the remaining games.
7 games that they win. So basically, you still have them. You have them going 8-9.
It's a toss up. It's a toss up between. I don't know if they beat the Ravens.
They don't.
Actually, I'll take that back. I think they beat the Panthers and Giants at home. So I take that. So that's 2. So 9. I think they beat the Panthers, the Giants. They beat the Jets twice. The Titans, they'll be able to beat because the Titans' defense is terrible. So
Derrick Henry is going to gash them for 100+ yards.
So this is January 2nd now, so we don't know if he's gonna be there. This is hypothetically speaking, right? And I think like I said, Jaguars, Falcons, Texans, Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets again, and Patriots. They sweep the Patriots. So I think
Jock, but what are you basing this off of? An optimistic assumption that they're suddenly going to get better, or this the fact that those other teams are just that god awful? Because again, you say they're going to beat the Titans. How? With the way that they run the football, Derrick Henry could run for 200 yards.
But
seriously,
this is January 2nd at this point, so we have to just. I don't know if the health situation, but the Dolphins are healthy. Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, they're gonna win those games if he's there. That's what I'm going off.
So this is just more you're that confident in Tua, not so much anything else.
I just think the team's gonna play better, man. You like they got embarrassed today. They're gonna.
They got embarrassed last week. They got embarrassed the week before, and they got embarrassed the week before. Jock.
They competitively played the last two games. Today they didn't compete. They're gonna win next week against the Jaguars. They're gonna beat the Jags and they're gonna beat the Falcons back to back. We'll be at 3-4. You'll be a little bit more optimistic on this show. Then they travel to Buffalo at the end of this month. And the way I see it, I think Buffalo. I think Miami beats Buffalo. I think Miami go on a 3-game winning streak.
Jock, like I said, that's why I made the bet that I made, because you're wrong. You're wrong. They're not beating. If nothing else, even if I'm wrong about Jacksonville and Atlanta, they are not beating Buffalo. No way. There's no freaking way. It's like Josh Allen can do whatever he wants against this defense, and he has been able to ever since he got into the league. I don't know what makes you think they're going to win.
I think they win the next 3 games.
I'm still waiting for just any kind of proof that that's going to be the case. Seriously. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and call this show early. There's not really much else to say other than the Dolphins got absolutely whooped all over again. So once again, thank you all so much for joining us. For those of you who despise my guts, if you guys are lucky, I won't be here after 3 weeks. But because I'm not wrong, and I will be here after 3 weeks, I will see you all then. So good night, everybody.